Good evening, everyone. I'm Shivangi Mishra. I'm a head psychologist at Manastha. It is the best online counseling in India. We aim at providing mental health services, quality and affordable mental health services across the globe. We help individuals to reclaim their inner harmony. I feel really honored to be a part of this particular live webinar organized by IIT Kharagpur, IWG Group in association with Manastha. I feel honored to have this opportunity to shed some light on the very major and crucial aspects of mental health. Thank you so much for the opportunity, IWG Group. As we all know, mental health, today is World Mental Health Day, and this day is even more significant during this time of the pandemic. The current situation has hindered the process of our daily life in such a way that all the dimensions of our existence are actually distorted in a way. We are not able to function normally. And a new normal has actually come into existence. The repercussions are actually visible across the world. The virus, that is not even visible to the naked eyes, is actually something which is distorting the entire existence of the world. Just imagine, it's either symptomatic or asymptomatic. For this we have to go to a doctor, tell our symptoms, and then he gives us an understanding about the severity of our illness. Similarly, it's the case with mental health. Mental health concerns are also wherein a person may not be having the awareness whether they have it or not. Mental health concerns are wherein an individual may be at the verge of developing some issues but may not be knowing, but may be experiencing in his own life, wherein the professional, personal, psychological aspects are getting disrupted. It's important to seek help. Ever since the pandemic has hit India over 7 months back, followed by lockdown, a survey was done by Manastha. And it was found that approximately 43% of the population is actually going through moderate to severe stress levels. And 26% of the population is actually going through some symptoms, are actually exhibiting some symptoms of depressive disorder. Recently, a research was conducted by Asian Journal of Psychiatry, which was done in terms of understanding depression in students in association with their academic environment, lifestyle, and personal issues. 717 students were participants to the study, and it was found that approximately 37% of the population showed the symptoms of depressive disorder, moderate depressive disorder. And approximately 13% of the students had symptoms of severe depression, which is alarming. India has about 50% of its population which is below the age of 25. And they are the ones which are most affected. College and school students are the ones who are facing maximum uncertainties, maximum anxiety in context of their career or school life or college life in terms of their studies. They are the people who are facing maximum uncertainties and anxiety. This is an age which is very much vulnerable and fragile. And it's very important that they should have some mental stability. That's missing. According to National Crime Record Bureau, recently a statistics came into a picture that about every 1 hour, one student is actually committing suicide. They recorded that 28 suicides were reported every day, which is an alarming signal. That's why today I would be discussing on the topic depression amongst university students. We'll be understanding how depression impacts the life of an individual, specifically university students. What is depression? How it can be managed, prevented, and what interventions are possible? How to diagnose it? To start with, let me tell you something about from my own experience. There was a recent case that approached me via online counseling. This guy is also from IIT, one of the branches of IIT, and this guy actually, this person was very jolly and very thrill-seeking kind of a person, too much into activities and extracurricular activities and everything. He was somebody who was actually having the limelight every time. And now, because the pandemic happened, he came to home. What happened was, this guy started feeling over a period of time hopelessness. And then slowly and steadily, this guy started feeling sadness almost every day. For him, appreciation, hanging out with friends was something which was, part of his life. Now everything stopped. So for this person, it was very difficult to cope up with the environment in the house. Of course, he was connected with his friends and relatives over call, but the kind of environment that he was getting over there was no longer available. The hostel environment, the fun and everything. After a point of time, some questions started coming to his mind. What am I doing? What's the purpose of my life? Where am I going? Am I going to be something tomorrow? Because the kind of situation that is here right now is actually something which is not contributing to a bright future. That is something that he started thinking. He started feeling that he doesn't have a good identity any longer. He doesn't know where he stands in the society. At the same point of time, he had feeling that he may not be able to cope up with the competition tomorrow. He felt hopeless. He felt worthless. Self-esteem dropped down. Confidence level was not able to rise there because, of course, definitely after a point of time, placements would come into picture. And currently the status is like that, wherein companies are laying off people more than hiring people. So for this guy, it was very difficult to cope up with the situation. So this guy, what happened was he was not able to get up from the bed. Even having food was difficult. He, somewhere or the other, started feeling that he's the only person. He's very lonely. Nobody is there to support him. Now, when this happened, slowly and steadily, his concentration on studies started decreasing. The results started dropping. The recent exams that happened, he couldn't cope up with that. Assignments, he couldn't score that well. Previously, he was the star, but now he found himself to be nobody. He lost pleasure in all the activities that he was doing previously. Everything just stopped. When it started happening, he realized that I need help. I genuinely need to seek some kind of help, some form of help. And he approached. Now, as a mental health practitioner, it's important for us to actually refer to certain manuals like DSM or ICD-10 in order to understand whether a particular client is going through a specific disorder or not. So we assess, there are certain symptoms given in those particular manuals. We assess the symptoms on those particular lines, and then we come up with a clarity of how to guide an individual, of how to let that person know what's happening and how we can proceed further, how we can grow from here. So it's actually said that if we have to diagnose depression, for 5 or more than 5 symptoms should be there out of 8 to diagnose a person with depression, and it should be continued for 2 weeks together, and at the same point of time there should be 2 symptoms that should be there, like depressed mood most of the time and loss of interest and pleasure in the favorable activities, the activities the person is doing. And also it's important over here to understand the aspect that sometimes people just have a phase. It's not always that a person is having depression, because depression has to be continued for at least 2 weeks together. So sometimes people just have a phase. They just go through a small phase wherein they are feeling low. But if it's becoming a vicious cycle and a person is going through it over and over again after a period of time, then it's important to take help. Now, it's important to take help because somewhere or the other, you need to realize the aspect that mental health is not a disease. It's not something wherein you will be given some kind of a tag. It's just like you go to a gym trainer for physical health, maintenance, or growth. Mental health practitioners are also people who help you to heal and become better mentally. They approach this dimension of yours to make you experience well-being, to make you experience peace of mind, and to enable you to become a better version of your own self. Now, why to seek help when it's actually becoming too much, when it's actually leading to a vicious cycle? Why not seek help in the beginning itself? So, somewhere or the other, it's important to understand that mental health should also be taken as other dimensions that you are taking. Like for gym, you go, like for physical health, you go ahead with a gym trainer and you try to work on yourself and get into shape. Similarly, a psychologist or any other mental health practitioner helps you to become a better version of yourself by giving you certain tools, by giving you certain modalities with intervention programs, exercises, and a lot of techniques are taught which helps you to become a better version of yourself, which helps you to attain the resilience level which is missing, which helps you to ask the right questions instead of going into a direction which is making you think in a negative perspective. They give you a direction to think in a way which will boost your self-esteem and confidence. Now, I'll tell you something which is very interesting that we found recently. Manastha, in Manastha, we did a research and we found out that during this particular pandemic period, we had more than 300% rise in the client arrival on our website. So, somewhere or the other, it was visible that so many people are actually seeking help. They're actually willing to take a step forward in this pandemic period to grow in the mental dimension. That was wonderful. And something that I also figured out to mention here, a third of the population that we received were students, were either school students or university students, which was alarming. And most of them had issues like self-esteem issues, confidence issues. A lot of them were feeling that we don't have any meaning, we don't have any purpose in life, we don't know how to proceed further. They had a lot of issues in context of uncertainty about future. So that was something which was giving an insight that these are actually the budding professionals tomorrow. These are actually the people who are going to shape the future of India. and it's important to help them out. We did a lot of research and we found that these people are the ones who are highly affected during this time. There are other people as well, but a third of the population were these students, university and school students. So, now let me tell you something personal over here. I have a brother who is also an IITian. He's from Delhi branch, third year. Now, what really happened was when I was about to come for this webinar, I had a conversation with him, and I asked him, like, what's your input for this thing? Like, what do you think? Some insider perspective, if you can give me, which will help me to, give some insights to people what's happening in IIT. So he came up with a lot of points, and he, expressed a lot of views on this thing. Something that I noticed with him as well, that when the pandemic started, when he came, he was very happy. He was very excited that, oh, holiday happened. But slowly and steadily, when exams approached, when placement period came and everything came, so even he had the same phase, feeling uncertain about future, feeling what to do. Shall I go ahead with deferred year, or shall I go ahead with placements, or shall I, have my own startup? Because it's a clueless phase. Nobody else, no batch prior to this actually went through this thing. So there is no understanding, no knowledge of how to proceed with this phase. Of course, it's a difficult phase. He was trying to build up his own understanding about this phase and trying to cope up. What to do? What's the next step? Had plans for going to this place, that place, gaining experience and everything. Everything just went away. Did not happen. It was all unpredictable. Now, similarly, not just him, but also certain clients of mine I have had a discussion with during the sessions and everything, and I found a lot of them, some people are actually the active students from IIT itself, and some people are alumni of IIT. So even those people, they came up with surprising understanding of the entire thing, what's happening. And they also gave me the insider's perspective of IIT, and they told me not just pandemic period, but otherwise as well, what is happening. They highlighted a lot of trigger factors which are leading to depression or any other mental health concern. So some of the factors that I have recognized and understood are, let's say, one of the things that they highlighted majorly was the adjustment issues. They said that, in hostel, we had a life wherein we could be very free, flexible, and in terms of everything. They could go to, labs or library to study and all, but there was no problem over there. Though nobody was there who was actually stopping them, or, they had that flexibility and freedom to do anything and everything. But now there are a lot of limitations. Since they are in their own house environment, first they had an exposure of the hostel, wherein no limits. Now they are in the house environment after a long period of time, and they have to adjust with other people as well, who are also working from home or studying from home. So now they have to deal and cope up with the environment. Plus everybody in the house also have their own stress levels, because everybody is affected. So a lot of things were visible over there, that students were unable to cope up in their own house. They were having irritation issues, anxiety issues, not able to deal with their own family members. A lot of arguments were faced. They couldn't understand what was happening with them. So, because at that point of time, they were very free. They had all the things in the world to do. Anytime they want to just go and sit in the park and study with a cup of coffee, fine. But now it's not a possibility. You can't even go out. So that got hampered. Secondly, at the same point of time, I would say social life. Previously, they used to hang out with their friends. They used to go party. They used to do a lot of things previously. But now, somewhere or the other, it has also put on a pause. It's also on a pause. Like, people do not have a let out. They can't meet their close and special friends face to face. Call is fine, but meeting a person face to face is a different experience altogether. So that's also not happening. At the same point of time, these people started having issues at home because of that and started suffering within themselves, as reported by many of my clients. That social life is no longer there. Previously, they used to go into cafes, click pictures, put it, but now that's not happening because somewhere or the other, that identity that they were portraying through social media is no longer available at home. They don't feel as somebody, they feel as nobody because of everything. Certain aspects apart from the pandemic thing, which, and also a part of pandemic thing, I would say, because in IIT, it's very, very important that a person's CV should be super good. And extracurricular activities are something which builds up a person's CV in the strongest way possible. Now, there are some students who thought that when we will be in this particular year, we'll start doing some extracurricular activities and then we'll make up and grow our CV, but did not happen. And there is internal comparison as well that emerges over there because the person's CV is strong and my CV is not that good. So that is also another issue that people face in IIT, because somewhere or the other, they have this internal comparison, internal conflict that why am I not able to reach where the other person is? Now, since this thing comes into the picture, these people are facing that they have actually lost the opportunity to develop their CV. Now, placement companies would come and how would they present themselves? How would they go about it? This leads to lower self-esteem. Another aspect, there are positions of responsibilities. Everybody in college, they have like general secretary position, club secretary position. There are positions of responsibilities wherein an individual is willing to take part and have that position. Why? Again, for the CV. Again, for having that sense of confidence and that thing to boost their own self-esteem. But now there are internal disputes in that aspect as well. There are a lot of conflicts that are happening internally, which is also leading to fear of failure. And also for people who go ahead with the defeat in those competitions, find it very difficult how to cope up with that. That leads to lower confidence and that leads to lower self-esteem. So somewhere or the other, there are small things which are leading to a person's mind going in a way wherein they start judging their own selves. Before somebody else would judge them, they start judging their own selves in their own mind. Now what happens is, let me tell you about some people, like some issues that also come, like social anxiety. A lot of people have social anxiety, specifically I would say the first or the second year people. They are the newcomers in the college. So what happens is, first years, social anxiety. They won't connect with people. They won't bond with people that much, that easily. Some are there like that because of social anxiety or because of other issues as well. They are not able to bond or gel up with people that much, which actually limits their scope, which actually limits their opportunity to grow and become better. Now, when this happens, somewhere or the other, these people, when they have to go in third year, let's say they have to go ahead with internships, then they face problems. When they have to go in the fourth year and have to sit for placements, then they face problems. Because there's lack of guidance. There's nobody who is actually telling them how to go ahead with the process. And since they did not approach or build up any connection with anybody, any senior or mentor, that is why they faced a lot of issues after a point of time. And when somebody, let's say a lot of people are there who actually go ahead just with building a good CGPA every year. They just want a good score academically and not doing anything otherwise, like in extracurriculars or anything. So when they get out of the college, when they are passed out, then it's difficult for them, because then comes the situation, now what? Where am I? How to proceed further? How to go ahead from here? And at the same point of time, let's say if some people do not apply for placements, some people, because of lack of guidance, lack of awareness, if they do not apply for placements, what happens is there are other people who already were preparing for it, because some people thought that we'll go ahead with, let's say, another profession like IAS or anything. So these people thought that we will have another track, and there are other people who prepare for it and come up with the placement thing. So when they come up with the placements, when they come up with that thing, what happens is an internal comparison starts. Oh, my CGPA was good, how come this person is getting better place? How is he getting a better company even though his CGPA was low? These kind of comparisons come into the picture. Mind starts thinking in this particular line. And since most of the people, specifically the first years, most of the people who come out, who have actually come out of their schools are actually toppers. So when they come into IIT and they see all the other people are also toppers, they feel they are nobody. They feel that they are just ordinary people like everybody. They do not feel that they have something to offer. They feel usual. That happens, that shatters their confidence, that makes them feel worthless. And that is why there is a higher rate of suicide in first years. There are other things as well, like peer pressure or toxic relationships, which can also act as a trigger factor for everything, which can also act as something which can lead to such kind of issues. Now, point is, somewhere or the other, everybody is facing these issues. Some people also reported administration pressure is also there. There's a lot of disappointment when CGPA is not up to mark, or some people also said that coursework is too much. How can we cope up with that? There are some unfair policies happening, just because we are working from home, like we are going ahead with studies from home and everything. So we are not able to get that exposure the way we used to get, and we could directly communicate with the professors and ask our queries. Now it's very difficult to connect. It's very difficult to go ahead with things. And also there's a lot of distraction which comes when it's, we're going ahead with this online thing. So it's very difficult for them to focus and concentrate on the topic. However, the experience of the class was different. Still they could go ahead with that. But online thing, they have more ways of distracting themselves and they feel lesser interest comparatively. So somewhere or the other, these are the certain factors that were actually identified by various students, which were reported, which were told by many of my clients as well. And they said that these are certain contributing things which is leading to every, small stressors, which is actually leading to some form of mental health concern. Everybody is experiencing some triggers which are making them feel vulnerable. And uncertainty, definitely. Now, I would like to tell you something very interesting over here. Some realizations that I've got from my experience as well, that, okay, let's say you see an object. You see an object, how, when you look at a particular object, it goes on your lenses, the image is inverted. And there is a particular part in our system which is called visual cortex. That particular part helps us to understand the reality which is out there. It gives us an experience of the reality which is out there. Now let's say if this visual cortex gets disoriented, if this visual cortex is not working properly, do you really think you'll be able to understand the reality the way it is? Point is, similarly, we have filters. Our mind also has a lot of filters. When we perceive something, there are certain filters which deliver the information to our system to make us understand how the reality is out there. Sometimes what happens is that, theoretically, we call it cognitive distortions. What happens is that some people, when they are going through certain mental health concerns, their filters are disoriented. They are not able to perceive the world the way it is. Their filters show them a different kind of a reality. What happens over here is that, let's say a person is trying to see something from a particular lens and it's shady. Won't be able to see it that clear. Now, somewhere or the other, cognitive distortions actually lead to formation of certain belief systems in our mind, certain thought processes in our mind, which shapes our reality, which gives us an understanding of the reality in a very disrupted manner, in a very dysfunctional manner, and which shapes our experiences, because that's how we start reacting to things. Our belief systems are actually shaped on the lines of these cognitive distortions in case of specifically depression. Now, let me explain this thing to you with the help of a small story. So let's say there were two friends. They were walking on the road and a puppy came running towards them. One friend got really scared and tried to hide behind the other one. The other friend got really happy, very excited to see that particular puppy, and tried to pick that puppy up and cuddle. The friend who got actually scared was trying to push the puppy away. Like, no, don't bring it closer to me. The other one was feeling very happy, excited. Oh wow, puppy. Why two reactions to the same situation? Why both of them are reacting in a different way? The situation is same for both. Now the point over here is, the first friend was somebody who was bit by a particular dog in childhood. So somewhere or the other, he associated dogs with danger. He associated emotion of pain and fear with the dogs. Now, every time whenever he sees a dog, he feels threatened. He feels as if it's going to harm him. So his survival instincts are activated. Every time he sees a dog, the same belief system is re-triggered. Already there is problem in the lens. Already there is a problem in the entire understanding of the reality. There's no problem with the dog, there's no problem in the situation, but there's problem in terms of understanding that particular situation. Now for him, dogs are threatening. For him, dogs are something that leads to fight or flight reaction in him, which means either confront or just run away. It increases the release of a lot of stress hormones in that particular person, because he's not able to go ahead with seeing dog in front of him. He's now overgeneralizing. Even if the puppy is harmless, for him it's like it's very threatening. It's very difficult for me to face a dog or even to touch a dog. Belief system. Now for him it's like overgeneralized towards every dog. However, the other friend who did not have any such experience is all good to go, is all fine, there's no problem. He's happy to see a dog. Something which is important to understand over here is, cognitive distortions just like this are many over there, which an individual forms. Like, let's say, sometimes people also start perceiving things in black and white case, all or none thinking. Either it's like I am the best person, or either it's like I'm the worst person. There's no midway. Even that's how people sometimes start thinking and reflecting. That's also another thing. Now, or you can say personalization. Let's say I fed a dog, and that particular dog, after a point of time, met with an accident. Let's say after a duration of 5 minutes, met with an accident and died. Now the person starts feeling that, oh, I am an unlucky human being, that is why this happened. I shouldn't have loved this particular dog or fed him. Because I fed him, that is why that dog died. Personalization. Every wrong thing that's happening in the environment is because of me. This is also a cognitive distortion a person goes through. And at the same point of time, there are others, many others, like disqualifying the positives. A person is not able to see the positives about oneself, but if you highlight the negatives about the person, he's like, yes, I have it. I have a problem. I cannot go ahead with this thing. But when it comes to positive, they are not able to make connection with it. They can't even think that it's existing. They completely reject the existence of some positive things. That's also another aspect. Now the point over here is that students think that since we came into college, that is why, life is actually falling apart. But that's not the case. They think that since we came to college, we don't have any friends over here, let's say for the first years, or probably, I am not able to understand the course content. That is why, in previously I had NCERT books and everything. It was very limited syllabus and organized syllabus. Now I have to research, I have to do this, that, those. I have to collect information. It's becoming difficult. Or they say some unfair policies or practices are being followed. Or they say that, somebody is scoring better than me and I am scoring less. These are the probable issues because of which I am going through this phase. No. These are just the trigger factors. These are just the things which are just making you, these are just the things which are actually triggering your vulnerabilities. IIT is a place which is just triggering your vulnerabilities. But these are the things that had been there in you since a longer period of time. Now they are just coming to the surface. So to make it more coherent, I would tell you that, there's one famous psychologist, Erik Erikson. This person told some psychosocial stages of development. He said that a human being goes through various psychosocial stages of development. First, the individual goes through a stage wherein the person, let's say a child is learning how to do toilet training. So it's trying to become autonomous. So every stage has certain needs and requirements accordingly and has its own challenges as well. Similarly, a child is, who's learning toilet training is actually trying to become autonomous, independent for the first time, right? Similarly, adolescent stage, wherein the person is actually going ahead with self-esteem issues and everything. IIT is also a place which is giving you challenges in context of identity crisis. It's giving you challenges how to develop, reshape and establish your own identity. It's not about professors giving you low grades or somebody excelling. It's more about shaping and reshaping your own personality. And something which is very important to understand over here is our belief systems are actually something, see, there is no right or wrong. Some people think they have they have recurrent thoughts and they start feeling that when they have their belief system, they start feeling that if it's dysfunctional, why to go ahead with that thing? It's not leading to what I want, it's not leading to this, that, those, but still they are continuing. These are like recurrent thoughts. They are not able to get away from that. So one thing that you need to understand, there's no right or wrong. There is no functional or dysfunctional. There is nothing there is no right or wrong. It's either functional or dysfunctional, sorry. So what happens is, if you're getting a particular thought and if that thought is actually leading to what you really want, is actually contributing to your mission, to your vision, then only it's a functional thought for you. You can proceed with that. Every time when you're getting recurrent thoughts in terms of your own belief systems, ask yourself, is it something which is going to contribute to my mission and vision? If yes, it's a functional thought. It's going to make you functional and productive. But if no, you need to drop the question. You need to drop that particular aspect. Now the point is, it's not about everybody, these belief systems, it's not about that people doing things over there in IIT is making me feel this way, that way. Because if I put 10 people in your place, do you really think all 10 people would react in the same way, will give the same reaction towards the situation? No. Exactly, because everybody has their own ways of understanding the world. Everybody has their own belief systems. Everybody has their own ways of approaching, which is shaped by society, learnings from the society, learning from parents and from the world, whatever you have understood. That's how it goes ahead. Now, something which is important to understand over here is, if you really want to drop these questions, if you really want to go ahead with functional thoughts and productivity in life, it's important to have a psychologist, a mental health practitioner, a life coach, or anybody who can actually help you to become a better version of yourself. Because a psychologist is more like a GPS to your car. Now let's say you are the one who's actually driving the car and you want to reach to a particular destination of, let's say, boosting your self-esteem. So a psychologist is just a GPS who will just guide you, give you a direction and help you to reach your own destination. Now, you just have to listen to the psychologist, you just have to follow the steps, you just have to go ahead with the exercises, all the intervention programs which will be offered. But the driver is you. You have to go ahead, you will reach the destination with peace and ease if you go ahead with whatever the psychologist is offering you. Now, the point over here that you need to understand is, if you choose mental health, you develop not only in one dimension, but you develop in various other dimensions as well. Because if a person says that I'm feeling hopeless, if a person feels that I am feeling helpless in a particular situation, it's not just coming from one dimension, it's coming from multiple dimensions. It is important that all the dimensions should be in harmony. Your mental, emotional, physical and spiritual dimensions, everything should be in harmonious existence for you to function effectively. If you are feeling hopeless, it's like, let's say a particular car, 4 tires it has, and let's say 3 of them are actually punctured and only 1 is functional. Do you really think a car can actually take you on a drive in that case? No. It has to be holistic. It has to be harmoniously done so that it's the best for you, for your growth. And it's the work of a psychologist. A psychologist helps you to become the better version of your own self, to be at that level wherein you can have the fullest form of confidence, you have higher self-esteem, everything that you require. IIT is just one destination that is just triggering your vulnerabilities, that is just triggering all those belief systems. It's not the place which is causing a particular issue. It's important for you guys to realize this thing. Many people have come up with this thing that, since the time I have come over here, I have started facing this thing, that thing, and they blame the external aspect. It's not required to blame the external. You need to reflect. You need to see where is it actually coming from. It's your own belief systems. Now, the point over here is that you need to understand this place can either make you or it can just break you. A psychologist will actually help you to understand that how you can use this particular power that's coming towards you to make your own self. How you can use this power to develop your own personality. How you can become the person that you really want to. Something which is important for you guys to understand over here is that mental health, if you are highly resilient, if you're mentally strong, if you're steady in terms of your mental state, everything is possible. You know, it's like if you say, let's say, fire, you can either cook food and feed yourself with the use of fire, or you can just go and sit on that and burn yourself. It's up to you. It's your choice. What do you really want? You want to get triggered by these particular external forces and feel that somber mood, or you really want to make use of this particular power and use it towards it to make your own self, to build up your own self, to feel better about your own self. It's not like there are not many individuals who have become successful. There are various individuals who have come out of IIT and have become very, very successful. Why not choosing the lines, the pathway of those people? Why not use this particular power to make and shape your own personality, to shape your own self, to become the best version of yourself? It's like, you know, nuclear power can actually be used either to destroy the world or to make the world a beautiful place. If these are certain triggers which are, you know, making you feel vulnerable, why not make use of it? And why not become the best version of yourself? Choice is yours. You choose, you become. I will start with certain questions that certain people have asked from IIT. How to cope up with depression and how to cope up with depression amidst this pandemic. As I already told in the session that, you know, it's important for you to work on your own self. It's not just about one dimension. It's about various dimensions have to come into equilibrium. Every dimension of your existence has to be holistically harmonious. It's not just one dimension. There are many others. So depression is just something which is happening as a state of mind right now. You can always choose to become what you want. With the help of a psychologist, with the help of the intervention programs, we can help you to become the better version. That is why a psychologist comes into the picture. We'll take your case history, we'll go ahead with how specifically you are going ahead with depression, how you are dealing with it, what is happening with you which is leading to this particular state, and then we can help you grow and become the better version of yourself. How should we not compare ourselves with others and feel bad? As I already told in the session that you need to understand this particular aspect that, see, comparison comes into the picture when you feel low about your own self, and it's not the comparison that's coming from the outside. It's not something wherein people are actually telling you something. So let me tell you something which is very important. Whenever you're sitting in a group, there are a lot of things which are happening. Let's say, you know, a person said to you that a particular discussion is going on in the group, and a person said that, you know, whatever you're speaking is not so good enough. I'll tell you what is the right thing. Let's say a person said this thing, and then there is another person who comes up and says that whatever you are saying is something which makes sense, but I would like to add something more to it so that it becomes even more better. There are two ways in which the person has approached the situation. There are two people who approached the situation this way. Now, in which particular way will you feel lower about your own self? The first one. Why? Because then an internal judgment started. You couldn't see beyond yourself. Whenever it's about other people in the environment, it's important for you to understand that you need to see beyond yourself and see the situation from a 360-degree perspective. Why do you think that this particular point of view was just happening to make you feel lower about your own self? It could be done because the other person wanted to feel better about oneself. He wanted to boost his own confidence. That is why he was coming up with that statement. And at the same point of time, if you try to see beyond yourself, you are able to get more insights. Because whenever the situation is happening, your mind goes inside yourself and start doubting your own self, start making questions about your own self-worth. You start making judgments. It's not the judgment that's coming from the outside, it's judgment that's coming from your inside. So comparison should not be with other people, it should be with your own self. It shouldn't be with people who are out there. They are having their own life journey, they are having their own things. It should be with your own self. How are you excelling? How were you previously? How are you doing right now? Is there any change in that? You need to work on that particular aspect. Many other questions have already been answered in the webinar. Thank you so much for being a wonderful audience. It was lovely speaking with all of you. I hope I was able to help many of you. Thank you so much for the webinar.